Can you feel the love tonight? Indeed. Yes, that's a female fury on the right there, making her debut and doing her best unicorn impression. She is so modeled after a unicorn. And in fact, that was my second reaction to this poster. The first being, ooh, I love all the glowy sparklies. And then the second being like, I wonder why How to Train Your Dragon, this very popular franchise, is suddenly so aggressively, seemingly aggressively going after the female market. I mean, it had never struck me as particularly male-oriented beforehand. In fact, I'd always felt of it as gender neutral. And in fact, with the second film, How to Train Your Dragon 2, co-creator and the writer-director of the second film and this film, Dean Dubois, is openly a member of the LGBT community. And you might recall the slight controversy, this was 2014, of whether or not Gobber was also a member of the LGBT community. It turned out to be early queer baiting, to be honest with you. But anyway, I didn't really feel like How to Train Your Dragon broke in either direction in terms of being for male appeal or female appeal. But this looks really strong in the female appeal department. In fact, it looks like the poster for another recent, animated property, She-Ra, which is coming back, also from Dreamworks Animation, by the way, and that's also now owned by, so Universal owns all of this. This is part of Dreamworks Animation's, I guess, new directive. Some Universal executive maybe is sitting there going like, what if we aggressively went after boys and girls, right? What if, I couldn't find stats to back this up, right? I'm sure maybe the Universal executive didn't either and just, pontificated in the meeting. But, the question is, are women and girls, do they buy more toys? Are they stronger in the kids market, right? How to Train Your Dragon 2, I was able to see with the movie that it was pretty split down the middle, gender-wise, 53% male, 47% female. Now, I don't know how many, moms and caretakers took that up, taking little boys to see the movie maybe? I don't know. But this I guess I'm saying I didn't think there was a problem with the female appeal of the franchise that you would need to up that so much. And with the potential side effect, which could actually be much more than a side effect, of maybe making boys maybe feel it's not for them. I'm curious for guys, what do you think of all this glowy stuff, right? I mean, it was very big in Suicide Squad, and that obviously had a lot of male appeal, although I think Harley Quinn helped with that a lot. And then, of course, the Seven Dwarfs Diamond Mine is all glowy and sparkly like this. Not quite, though. This is not only glowy and sparkly, but it's mostly pastels. But I have to say, the Seven Dwarfs Diamond Mine roller coaster, when you go through the glowy mine, is I think the reason that anybody gets on that thing. It's amazing. The TV series, by the way, just finished its final season, also on Netflix, and I couldn't find any breakdown of the viewership there as well. I also thought maybe with the TV show, this thing broke female when no one was looking, right? But of course, Netflix doesn't release any information. But they might have it a private information, although kids don't have their own account, so you couldn't tell what kids were watching, right? But maybe they shared it with Universal. Maybe they're looking at how the toys are doing. Maybe they just see that this, maybe they just feel it could be more. I'm not sure. Now, as for How to Train Your Dragon in general, I loved the first movie. I liked the second movie. I thought Cate Blanchett's character, Cate Blanchett, also one of her early add-ons to big franchises, right? I thought she was she ended up being a little underwhelming. I've never watched the TV series, but I am excited about this third entry, especially because I like the action elements. This series has not shied away from more adult depictions, although that's ironic, as we'll talk about in just a moment, because I don't think the characters are particularly adult as I'd hoped. But so yeah, I'm looking forward to the new series, and the new movie, and I do like the sparkly glowy. I'm not gonna lie, it does get to me. I'm like, I love it. It looks fabulous, right? Now, speaking of Universal, this is the first Dreamworks Animation movie as part of the Comcast family, which also owns the uber successful Illumination Entertainment. They have two animation houses. And I'm curious to see if Universal will make the difference between what was happening with Dreamworks Animation and Fox, which was a historic, legendary box office slump. It was so bad. You might recall, we talked about this a lot. DreamWorks Animation got so desperate, they tried to have Hasbro buy them. Disney blocked that deal. Remember, saying they would kill their contracts, their toy contracts with Hasbro, if Hasbro made that purchase. It looked like DreamWorks Animation was going to go out of business, but thankfully Universal saved it at the last minute, purchased it. But Jeffrey Katzenberg is part of the deal, and this is crazy because he's such a legendary figure in animation, and he totally turned Disney animation around during the Disney animation renaissance. But I guess, on his watch, DreamWorks had floundered to the point of almost going out of business. But he is still involved with the digital stuff, but he had to step aside overall, and Illumination's Chris Meledandri actually now runs this company. And when you think about it, Despicable Me followed the same storyline, right? Guy meets girl, starts family, and that's what we're seeing start to start to happen to Hiccup and Toothless. Maybe it happens to Hiccup and Toothless, like many, when their friends start families, begins to feel the pressure. And then luckily he meets a female Night Fury. Although I just talked about the Gobber stuff, and considering Dean Dubois and how everybody is today, I always wonder how social media will deal with, it's crazy to think this way, like putting a traditional relationship in here. What will the reaction be, especially with Dean Dubois behind the camera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. It's a cute family movie. They look like they really like each other, and that's all that matters, right? But I think it's interesting. My biggest problem with this third entry, and they showed pictures of the human characters at that recent licensing convention where we saw a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't like that they didn't do enough of a time jump again. I thought it should be more pronounced. Went from kids to teenagers, and I was hoping adults. And this seems like college age. Or maybe even just like high school seniors, to be honest with you. And although I don't get why Hiccup looks like he's taken from the second film here, when he has a more pronounced jawline in the imagery from that licensing convention. And by the way, his 3 o'clock shadow does not count as making him a full-fledged adult, nor that wisp of a mustache that they've put on Snotlout. I mean, I know it's funny. That mustache in particular, I'm sure will get used for a lot of humorous effect, but it's not what I was hoping to see. I was hoping to see, again, a significant new time jump. But maybe they'll look different when they move in the trailer, which we're getting next week. Anybody who's anybody in the animation world apparently wants to debut in front of The Incredibles 2. So it's going to be a great 2 weeks if you're into animation. And who isn't these days, right? So what do you think about this? What do you think of, giving Toothless a romantic interest? What do you think of this really pronounced appeal to the female demographic? I mean, everybody kind of likes sparkly, so there's just something about it that makes me feel like they're really trying to go after the female market. And again, I didn't realize that was an issue for this franchise. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts about it down below. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.